What's up, guys? In the works, and we're playing a little TDM here on the Tala market with my trusty MP7, which if you're wondering, it still remains king of hipfire. I mean, I don't know why more people don't use this particular PDW. It seems like I only ever see the M5K or like the P90, but no matter what the M5K throws at this thing, the 41 round, no recoil MP7 is still king in PDW world, at least in my eyes. So this is definitely a really good TDM game. I just hopped in here just to fool around, and I was like, whatever, I'll hit the record button and see what I get. And I cut out some of the good portions of this TDM because it was like 20 minutes long, and I wasn't going to make you watch 20 minutes of MP7ing. But it is a pretty interesting look at this particular weapon, because I know a lot of you guys have been asking for an M5K versus MP7 rematch on the showdowns, but you know, I don't really think it's a contest. I still think MP7 is just king of the roost in terms of PDWs. You know, P90 maybe comes a little bit close, but I think MP7 might take it in my book. So hopefully you do enjoy the gameplay, because it's one of my better ones in quite a while. Actually, I was actually felt really on top of things. I don't know if that's just a testament to how good this weapon is, or just I don't know. But anyways, the topic today, we want to talk about the year of Battlefield 3, 2012, because 2012 has come and gone, and it's been a really interesting year on the battlefield. I mean, we've seen a lot of changes. We've seen the ups and downs. We've seen DICE lie. We've seen DICE fulfill promises. We've seen all sorts of stuff. So, you know, it started out really interesting. You know, going into January, Car Camp was still out, and it was fresh in everyone's mind, and everyone was loving Battlefield, but it seemed like it went downhill really quickly at the first of 2012, because, you know, the USAS frag stuff took them forever, the patch, and, you know, that patch they had been promising us in February ended up coming out in, what, April? You know, and that was around the same time they introduced the premium offering, and they announced that Close Quarters was going to be the first DLC, which was pretty risky. I think Close Quarters really did a marginally decent job of introducing the Battlefield gameplay mechanics into like a Close Quarters type game, you know, almost like Call of Duty style. I hate to say it, but I mean, honestly, that's basically what they were going for, you know, more fast-paced action. So if you like that kind of thing, you know, Close Quarters did a pretty good job of it. So I don't really see Close Quarters as a fail. And I mean, with Premium coming out and everyone saying, okay, Premium's just a money grab, etc., etc., you know, there were a lot of disappointments with it. I mean, a lot of the things that we thought we were going to get, we didn't actually get. You know, the camos ended up being, I mean, I don't even really touch the camos, to be honest. I mean, with the exception of a couple, like the J&G 90. I love that rifle, so I tend to put camo on that. But for the most part, the camos were on a lot of obscure weapons that no one really uses. And I don't know if that was to push people to use those weapons or what, but, you know, maybe it was limited space. Maybe they could only give it to limited weapons. But when we saw camos, we expected to get all of them. And then, you know, the fact that you have to combo that you have to grind for the camos. I mean, assignments to get the camos, it's a little monotonous, especially when you paid for the camo. You expect to be able to access it. Now, I know it does add some excitement or some RPG type elements to the game, but honestly, guys, like, I've never really been a huge fan of paying for something and having to grind for it. You know, I've talked about this in past videos, but, you know, it was a minor inconvenience. It didn't really affect me that much. You know, it's not like camos ruined the game for me because I wasn't able to use them. Definitely not the case, but, you know, it's just one of those things where you pay for something and you got something else. And I think that's why a lot of people were upset with Premium. But I must say that if you were going to buy all the DLCs, and oh man, look at that hipfire. If you're going to buy all the DLCs, there's really no reason to be upset with Premium. I mean, we got a pretty good deal on it, with the exception of some disappointments with, you know, maybe the camo, some of the soldier upgrades, and you know, the bonus content stuff, which, you know, I don't even want to get into that, because the bonus content was a little underwhelming, to say the least. I was not a fan of that. I felt like the bonus content just did not really live up to what we were expecting. Granted, a lot of people might use the argument, well, we bought Premium for maps, not for bonus content, but, you know, from my eyes, I felt like DICE was making this out to be something that was going to be amazing, and it ended up really not being that amazing at all. So that was definitely a disappointment. But then, you know, we had Armor Kill, which had its problems, and with Armor Kill, we've continued to have problems with, like, patches. I mean, we had the dart glitch for so long, and it actually ended up being something that apparently they could patch pretty easily, they found out. So, and then they finally fixed that stuff, and Armor Kill was pretty good in my eyes, but a lot of people just didn't seem to appreciate what it brought to the table. I think the AC-130 killed it for a lot of people, especially when you look at the the way it imbalanced one of the most popular game types, which was Rush. So you couldn't really enjoy your favorite game type if you played mostly Rush, which I did. On Armored Kill maps, you had to either play TDM or Conquest, and I mean, they actually played really well on TDM. So then finally we have Aftermath. You know, I'm kind of running through these pretty quickly, but you know, Aftermath was the first DLC that I felt like actually hit the nail on the head, and I think that was a good note to end on for 2012. And a lot of people give DICE a hard time for the way they've kind of supported the game, and you know, I tend to not give DICE any slack because they have a pretty popular game on their hands. They should be able to approach this a lot more smart than they have. They definitely haven't approached this game in a good way. They have very arrogant community managers, which I think they really need to reconsider, because Community Manager School 101 will teach you do not bite the hand that feeds you, and the hand that feeds you are your customers, you know, the consumer. You don't insult their intelligence on Twitter. And I don't know who is in charge of keeping like Daniel Matros in check, but that guy has the filter of a 3-year-old. Sometimes he says the most ridiculous things that are just extremely offensive, at least in my eyes. He's gone all the way to insult people for you know, saying that they don't like this and that. So that's never the way you want to do it. I think it's a poor choice in the way they kind of approached that. But I think the year can really be summed up in saying that there are a lot of promises that we thought we were going to get in 2012 that we didn't actually get. But I can't really complain too much, because as much as we like to gripe and moan and say this, that, and the other thing, honestly, I had fun playing Battlefield 3 in 2012. I know a lot of the big competitive guys, they didn't enjoy the game, but you know, I took this game very lightly. I didn't go into the game, you know, saying, okay, I gotta try hard all the time. You know, I used some underused weapons. I used weapons that people didn't like using. I tried new things, and I enjoyed Battlefield 3 in 2012. I really appreciated that DICE went out of their way to make 3 very different DLCs. And honestly, I can really appreciate that, because if there's one thing I can't stand is map packs. I feel like map packs are just the bane of the first-person world. I mean, look at Call of Duty. They charge $15 for maps. It doesn't change the gameplay in any shape or form. And, you know, I applaud EA, DICE, and, you know, the Battlefield 3 world for actually going out of their way to giving us a couple map packs, or, you know, expansions as they like to call them, that changed the game up a little bit. And, you know, I enjoyed the new weapons, and there was a lot of things that I just enjoyed in Armored Kill that I know a lot of people tended to overlook. You know, I even found some enjoyment in the Close Quarters maps. So 2012 for me, even though it was the quote year of premium, I think it was a fun year in Battlefield 3, and it's one that I'll look back on and hope that, you know, Battlefield 4 can be as entertaining as Battlefield 3 was for me. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this gameplay. I think I ended up dropping like 56 kills or something in like 20 minutes. I don't know, I actually can't read, it's too small. But it was a pretty good game, and the MP7 is a boss. So let me know what you guys think. Did you enjoy 2012 with Battlefield 3, or did they let you down? And if you missed any of my other videos, here's a chance to catch up, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.